Welcome back to another episode of Paint Society. In this episode and in this series, we're gonna take this car, repair it, and give it a full paint job and show you all the steps along the way with Mario Paint Class. Don't overthink it, it's just paint. And once again, thanks for joining me on this build series. Now, we're gonna show you everything. There's not one good panel on this car that we can save. So it is a full paint job. We're gonna show you how to deal with faded paint, peeling paint, body damage, Bondo, that type of thing to get this thing looking beautiful once again. So let's take a look at the surfaces and what we are dealing with. All right, looking at the front end, it was hit severely. What's going on here? Does this need to be replaced? Obviously, yes.
Yes, we're gonna have to replace the fender, the bumper, and test fit our parts so we can see what we're dealing with.
In this case, the best thing to do is just to get everything completely off the car. I think we'll probably have to pull it on the lift, but once we get everything fitted, let's talk about the rest of the paint and what we're gonna need to do in the future episodes. Let's take a look at the panels on the car. Mario's gonna explain what we have going on over here. We have good clear here still, right?
Yes, we have good clear here. This is the faded paint, and over here you have the paint, the base coat.
The base coat, and you can see if we zoom in a little bit, those are blisters. So anything where it's blistering, that's where we're gonna need to take it down. So
all right,
we'll have to take down the whole entire roof. You can see it's peeling. We can see the same peeling on all of our flat surfaces.
All the clear peeling off.
You can see on this side, even the tops of the doors where the sun really beat it. A lot of these cars on this year, they just completely start to deteriorate. So we're here, we're gonna go ahead and fix it, but the first thing first, let's make sure that front end is all good, so let's pull it in. And just like that, we got the whole car completely taken apart. We still need to get these quarter glasses taken out. And we got a nice gap here, so we're able to do all of our body work with keeping the windshield in. So what we're gonna do now is we are going to wash the car. Before you paint, you really wanna get it all degreased up, get it all cleaned up before you start to sand any of those contaminants back into the paint. So let's get this thing washed. Once the vehicle is all washed down, we're in the most important stage of the initial breakdown. And basically what that is we're gonna look at the panels from the side and we're gonna mark all of the damage that we have. And this is so important because once you start to sand, you're not gonna be able to see any of those dents. Now all this is an auto writer, and it is erasable with just some soapy water. So basically what I'm doing is I'm marking off all of the dents on the vehicle. You can see over here that we have some basic door dings. Now what we're doing is we're going to be using the assistance of a PDR tech. The assistance of a PDR tech is so important. They do what we call push to paint, meaning they're going to push out these dents and get them ready for paint much quicker. In most of the cases, they'll take these dents out and we won't even need to put any filler or body work over those dents. See, we want to really take it a step down and minimize the amount of work we have to do and let the pros with the dent pulling abilities smooth out those panels without having to grind into them. Sometimes what you really got to do is get low. This is the only way you're going to find the dents. And let me tell you, you're gonna see them once the car is painted. This door looks pretty clean. Now over on this fender, it's pretty buckled out and it's really dinged up here. Now the owner has a new fender, but if my PDR tech can really save this and I only have to go over with filler, then I plan to keep the original on the car. So we go around, we can see we have all of our dents marked off, ready for our PDR tech to do his magic. One of the last things to do on the project before we start our prepping process is removing any of the adhesive or stickers or double-sided tape. And to do that, we're going to be using the eraser wheel tool. Now everything you see in this video will be linked in the description of the video, and we're going to use this to safely remove it and not damage the paint. And just to mention, this works on metal. If you're going to use it on plastic, be prepared because it can gouge the plastic. Unless you go at a very low speed, you might have a chance of not ruining it.
Start it up.
With those stickers completely removed, we are ready to go. Now, a couple other things before we end this episode is we got our windows all removed and the dent guy came. Now we're gonna actually fix this with filler. We're gonna do some body work on this one later on in the series, but he came along and he already fixed all of our dents that we circled. And in the back here, he got this one really straight, so we'll just have to sand it down and skim it. You can see a little bit of the ridge still in here, so it really helps to have a good PDR tech help you out so you don't have so much filler. Now coming over here, you can see all the dents have been fixed, little dings here and there, and into the door as well. And that's gonna wrap things up for our first episode of the full paint job car guide. Now from here, the car is ready to enter into the prepping stage, and we'll see that in the next episode, we're gonna take the old beat up paint and we'll show you how far to sand it, what can be repaired, what cannot be repaired, do we need to sand down to metal in certain areas, and what do we do with previous body filler and previous repairs on a vehicle. We'll also get into how to protect that metal from a primer aspect and what primer to use when it comes to laying down a nice new surface for our paint. So make sure you check that one out. Guys, I hope you learned a lot from this first step guide. And this is Brian from Paint Society reminding you, don't overthink it, it's just paint. I'll see you guys on the next episode.